And it's down the road we go. Happy Friday. We made it to the end of the week, although it was a strange week indeed, the way the Christmas calendar fell into place. It is the 27th day of December, 2019. It's Friday. And I'm Dan Kuntz. And on more than one occasion yesterday, I asked a coworker, how was your weekend? Not thinking that it was Thursday. Because, we had Monday, which was a get it all done kind of day, so you can relax and spend time with family and friends on Christmas Eve. So Christmas Eve was kind of a light day. And then, of course, we were off on Wednesday, Christmas Day. Then you go back and you kind of had a day and a half off. And so kind of mentally, I was thinking it was Monday, but it wasn't. It was a Thursday. But I guarantee you, this is Friday, and now we have another weekend. In fact, it's the last Friday of the decade, as a matter of fact. Had a little bit of light snow overnight. It came down for about 45 minutes, between about 11:30 and about 12:15. Very, very light snow. I can't speak for the outlying areas of north central Washington, nor the East Wenatchee area. I live in Wenatchee, but I can tell you that the Wenatchee Public Works folks laid the brine down on the streets, and so we're fine. The roadways are fine, no real problems on the morning commute. It also helps that it's really light traffic. In fact, it was, as I worked yesterday, cut out of here about noonish, and I was amazed about how light the traffic was. It was just a lot of people just have a nice, quiet downtime over the holiday season, and I hope you did as well. What do we have planned for you today? We'll have that weather forecast. Things are still going to be kind of quiet. I also will take you up to the passes. If you're traveling over the mountain passes, they're getting a little bit of snow right now. There are some traction tire advisories, but the snow should be tapering off about 10 o'clock this morning. Then you should be good to go. We'll take you to the mountain passes as well. We'll have the latest on your Friday morning news. We got sports coming your way. We also have today in history, birthdays. Everyone is entitled to Mike Venotti's opinion. The obscure holiday, and Monday? I believe it was Monday of this week. Megan and I had a chance to pop on down to the Pybus Public Market, and we talked to Leslie Freytag, the executive director of the Pybus Public Market, and Caryl Andre, who of course is with the Wenatchee Parks Recreation and Cultural Services, and the three of us sat down and had a great conversation. Talk about all things Pybus, what they have coming up for the new year, which is a lot, and right on into the winter season. So my conversation with Caryl and Leslie will come your way in the back half of the program. About 3 minutes after the hour. It's not bad. Just a few clouds, 28 degrees. Let's take it around the valley with our cameras, courtesy of Localtel Sky-Fi High-Speed Wireless. That's kind of a cool shot, isn't it? That kind of low-laying cloud just over the downtown Wenatchee area. Of course, this is the cross camera. It looks to me it's tilted down and zoomed in just a little bit. We're a ways from sunrise. It's not till 7:48 this morning. Sunset 4:16 this afternoon. So just like yesterday, another day of 8 hours and 28 minutes of daylight. But tomorrow, Saturday, it's 8 hours and 29 minutes of daylight. The days get longer, but it takes a long time for the days to get longer, at least as we notice it. And the weather forecast, as I mentioned, really for today and right into the weekend, pretty normal for this time of year. Yesterday was an exact kind of normal day. We had a little bit of sunshine. We had some low clouds. We had some fog. On Thursday, we hit 30 degrees. Our normal high would be 31. Our low was 21. Our normal would be 22. So it was a normal day, as normal could possibly be from Mother Nature's perspective. Good morning, Wenatchee Valley. Camera 2, from this point forward, I have to guess. Megan's been fooling me a lot lately with some of these cameras, but that looks to be Rude Canyon. Am I correct, Megan? Hey, she didn't give me this time. I'm used to that view by now. Good morning, Rude Canyon. The people up, I know a number of people who live up Rude Canyon. They are not rude. They are very nice people indeed. And as I mentioned before, because it's not light enough for the PTZ camera to switch from chroma to color, that's why it looks like it's black and white. But trust me, those trees are green. Just the camera doesn't quite pick it up quite yet. If it gets bright enough, it'll switch over to color. We may take another tour around the valley and around north central Washington if we have time by the end of this program when it's light enough to see what's going on out there. Camera number 3. It's snowing there. Let me look. Don't tell me. I want to say that is, don't tell me, that's Leavenworth out there, isn't it? So that's Blag. That's Blag Mountain, high above the beautiful hamlet of Pesheston. Now that camera is very high. That camera is quite a bit in elevation, so that's why you see a little bit of light snow coming down at the top of Blag Mountain. Maybe the snowmobilers can start celebrating. I know there's enough snow in the Lake Wenatchee area. The folks have been out there recreating and snowmobiling around. Certainly, of course, now Mission Ridge is open every day throughout the holiday season, but it's snowing at the top of Blag Mountain. But again, that camera is very, very high. That's kind of a cool. It looks like a scene out of Star Wars, doesn't it? Camera number 4. Where are we off to? Is that Valley High? That's Valley High on the way up to the top of Blue Pass. As you can see, the occasional flake coming down there. Again, these cameras are quite high in elevation. That's how the Sky-Fi system works. The higher in elevation, the better off you are. It's a great system. I mean, you can have a cabin in the woods in the middle of nowhere, and all you need is electricity and be able to see any of our, I don't know, there's 75 or 80 Sky-Fi towers all over the Wenatchee Valley and all over north central Washington. And if you have those two things, you can get screaming fast internet delivered right to your home or your cabin, and you don't need fiber. That's a pretty cool thing. So we say good morning to Valley High on the way up to Blue Pass on this Friday morning. All right, 6 minutes after the hour. Good stuff, by the way, Megan. Nicely done on the cameras. 6 minutes after the hour. From Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, they'll give your home a hug. What does the National Weather Service have in store for you? Again, just kind of seasonable. We had that little bit of light snow. It came, it went. It's snowing in Spokane right now, but we're done with it. Partly sunny today, high near 34. Partly sunny, partly cloudy. It's your pick. Again, we'll see. It's going to be almost an exact repeat of yesterday, just maybe a little bit warmer. Some clouds and some fog this morning, and it burns off in the afternoon. We'll get up to about 34 degrees. Clouds roll back in tonight, 24 for the overnight low. Tomorrow, no sunshine. Going to be cloudy pretty much all day with a high near 32 degrees. Slightest chance of some light snow on Saturday night. Just about a 20% chance of light snow. It's a weak system. It's not packing any kind of precipitation at all, but we need to mention that. About a 20% chance of something coming out of the sky Saturday night. Overnight low of about 27. The snow level is going to hang right around 1,000 feet on Sunday, but again, there's just nothing out there to come out of the sky, so no snow accumulation expected on Sunday. Just the occasional flake here and there. Lots of clouds, and we'll top off at 33. Sunday night, mostly cloudy. 25 or so for the overnight low. We go back to work on Sunday, but lots of sunshine and a high near 37. So even if we get some super light snow on Sunday, and it was probably not going to happen, it ain't going to stick around. Monday night, snow level is going to be about 1,600 feet. Lots of clouds, 30 for the overnight low. Snow level goes all the way up to 4,100 feet on Tuesday, which is Christmas Eve. There is a 50% chance of precipitation, but with a high near 39, it's probably not going to happen. It's New Year's Eve. Did I say Christmas Eve? I want Christmas to happen all over again, Megan. I had such a great Christmas. And then finally, New Year's Day, snow level is going to be well above 3,000 feet. We'll be near 41 degrees on New Year's Day. So pretty quiet. Going to be well above normal temperatures on Monday and Tuesday. And again, we have a 50% chance of a rain-snow mix on Tuesday. Probably rain. Whatever snow we get is going to be melting quite away. Then we ring in the New Year Wednesday with a snow level way up there, partly sunny skies, and a high near 41. So that's what we're looking at from the National Weather Service. Let's take you up to the major mountain passes. They have been getting some snow. That's a live shot of I-90 right now. It does have a traction tire advisory. It's snowing, but it's not snowing real hard. On Snoqualmie Pass, they have a traction tire advisory with some snow and slush on the roadway. Stevens Pass, they have a traction tire advisory. There's a live shot there. Skiers getting ready to throw themselves down the side of a mountain on a skinny pair of fiberglass, and I say more power to them. Compact snow and ice on the roadway. It's snowing lightly on Stevens Pass, really right at the summit. Traction tires are advised there. We just saw that shot of Valley High on the way up to Blewett Pass. Now here's a live shot of the summit of Blewett Pass. You can see they got some snow and ice on the roadway. It's snowing on Blewett Pass, and there's a traction tire advisory. So traction tires are advised on the big three. Snow should be tapering off, they tell us, in the mountain passes by about 10 o'clock this morning, and that should be it. So they're going to get an inch, maybe two, but by 10, 11 o'clock, that's it for the snow, and they'll be done with it. So if you want to put off your drive through the Cascades until this afternoon, might not be a bad idea. No snow expected tonight. Little bit of snow, just a light amount of snow expected in the mountain passes on Saturday. About a half an inch Saturday night, about a half an inch on Sunday. It's going to be pretty quiet up there. But a quick heads up, if you're heading over the mountain passes early next week, especially Monday night and Tuesday, there's going to be a significant storm system that's not going to affect us here in the Wenatchee Valley, as you saw, with temperatures in the 40s on New Year's Day. But it looks like there's going to be quite a bit of snowfall in the major mountain passes early next week. But after the snow passes through today, again, by 10 or 11, they say the snow will be done. After that, no snow expected in the major mountain passes for the rest of the weekend. It's 10 minutes after the hour. Going to take a break and come back with your Friday morning news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, and we're live this morning from Studio 6 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
Winter is here, and CVCH wants to give your child a free sled to help them stay active. This January, plan to join us for a free event for the whole family. Free sleds, hot chocolate, and fun. For complete details, visit the CVCH Facebook page or check us out at cvchchillout.com.
Hi, my name is Jim Heinlein, independent agent and owner at Springwater Insurance Group, formerly known as Senior Insurance Services. And we recently decided to make that name change because we're offering so many different other types of insurances in addition to Medicare education and enrollment like we've been doing for 15 years. So if you have questions about Medicare or any other forms of insurances, give us a call at Springwater Insurance Group, 888-2600, or visit us at any of our 5 locations.
And we are back, 28 degrees with overcast skies. We'll have some clouds and some fog this morning, some sun breaks this afternoon, and a high of 34 degrees and pretty quiet weather, all things considered, right into the weekend. Here's us making headlines on this Friday. One person was injured and traffic was snarled for a time yesterday afternoon after a 5-car pileup near Yanazawa Boulevard in Moses Lake. The Washington State Patrol reports that shortly before 3, a Chevy Equinox being driven by 56-year-old Deborah Landrum of Moses Lake struck the Jersey barrier near the stoplight at Highway 17 and Yanazawa Boulevard. It rolled over, struck 2 vehicles stopped at the light, and then those 2 vehicles in turn struck the 2 vehicles in front of them. Landrum was transported to Samaritan Hospital in Moses Lake. The 10 occupants of the other 4 cars involved not injured. The cause of the crash under investigation, but the Washington State Patrol does not believe drugs or alcohol were a factor. First, he admitted a crime, then he wanted a trial, and now the Everett man who caused that wildfire near Manson last summer says he'll enter a guilty plea. 18-year-old Michael Petrovich Popov is charged with felony first-degree arson. Attorneys now say he'll plead next week to a lesser charge of reckless burning. Popov allegedly admitted to sheriff's deputies that he used an explosive mortar to blow up a mailbox back on July 6th on Upper Joe Creek Road. Now, that explosion led to a 14-acre brush fire. Prosecutors want Popov to reimburse local fire districts more than the $37,000 that it cost to fight that fire. An East Wenatchee man serving 5 years in prison for domestic assault must be resentenced in Douglas County. The State Court of Appeals say lawyers miscalculated the term Elias Vargas would have to spend in prison when a jury convicted him of first-degree assault, harassment, and witness tampering. Vargas choked and threatened his partner in 2018 while she was pregnant. He was ordered to spend 61 months in prison, but his new sentence is likely to be a lesser range of 43 to 57 months in prison. Outgoing Wenatchee City Executive Services Director Allison Williams is reflecting on her 21 years of service. In a recent interview with our very own special news correspondent Steve Hare, Williams is relocating to Moses Lake. She's accepted the job as the city administrator. Looking back at her tenure at Wenatchee City Hall, Williams remembers her involvement in promoting the development of the Town Toyota Center as one of the darkest periods of her career. Back in 2013, she and others involved in the area's $42 million bond sale were accused of misleading investors by the Federal Securities and Exchange Commission. Williams says the memory of that event still haunts her today.
I think the thing I would say about the Town Toyota Center is every big economic development is a risk game, and there are people in the middle of all of those things, and I think back to that process, and that was very, very hard for my family, and I will never forget that part, because family's what it's all about. And I think communities need to remember that at the heart of all of these projects are people. And in today's era of social media, and as I've seen even the comments that have surfaced in this new transition that I'm making to Moses Lake, I think it behooves our community to remember that there are people at the heart of all of these things. And my work has always been about other people, building their capacity, and trying to bring about the projects that are going to make them successful.
Now, the SEC's settlement also named developer Global Entertainment and its then president and CEO Richard Kozebak, also the underwriter Piper Jaffray and Company, and its lead investment banker Jane Towery, I should say. All the respondents neither admitted nor denied the SEC's findings. And finally, on this Friday morning, the Wenatchee School District enters the new year with 2 empty seats on their 5-member school board. Thus far, 4 people have applied to fill those vacancies with a deadline of January 6th for people to apply. Superintendent Paul Gordon sat down with me about a week ago and said the importance of filling these empty seats cannot be overemphasized.
We're excited about this opportunity to be able to ask our community members to step forward, to serve. And what a great place to serve, and a great opportunity to serve students and staff members and do good work for our community. So I'm excited about it. I think our board's excited about it. I think if people have questions, they should reach out to our current board members and really ask them about the work that they're doing to get an understanding what does it mean to be a board member, because most people don't know. And that's why I'm always encouraging people to reach out to our current board members.
All you have to do, from a legal standpoint, you have to be a registered voter in the state of Washington. You have to be a U.S. citizen. You have to live within the physical confines of the Wenatchee School District. Outside of that makes you eligible. But that's just the baseline. After that, it's a commitment of time. It's a passion. It takes a certain kind of person to do this, right?
It does, and it's a person who sees the big picture. Somebody, board members aren't doing the day-to-day work. They have one employee, and that is me, the superintendent. And through that, they work through policies, they work through budgets, they work through the really big issues of a school district, setting that vision and mission. And we have big work going on in the coming months and years ahead of us. The board is going to be talking about, do they want to go forward with a new bond? Do we have, we have some of our facilities challenges. So that this next board will be talking about those issues. Our finances continue to be an issue that the board has to grapple with. At the end of the day, it's the board who votes on the budget and sets that direction. We're in the process of setting a new strategic plan. One of the most important things that our board does is set that direction for a school district. So this is that time for those community members who feel like they can give back to the community. This is a great opportunity to throw your name into the hat.
And once again, the deadline to get your application into the Wenatchee School Board is January 6th, and that's what's making headlines. On this Friday morning, we'll have another newscast. The crew will be getting together again in the bullpen and finding all the things that we think make news in the Wenatchee Valley, North Central Washington, and deliver it to you at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock tonight with the preview. Here's the anchor, Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, some storminess headed our way. I'll have your complete North Central Washington weather forecast, and Eric Granstrom will be in with a preview of the Cougars bowl game tonight. That, all of the day's news, and much more coming your way tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope you'll join us then. Dan?
Thank you, Grant, and we'd love to hear from you, our viewers, and by golly, we do. You're not afraid to get in touch with us, and we love it. Any number of ways for you to chime in and say hi. You can go to our Facebook page, like us while you're there, give us one of those babies, and drop us a line via the Facebook Messenger. You can email us, news@ncwlife.com, news@ncwlife.com. We have a Twitter handle. We have a telephone. The number's at the bottom of your screen, or you can go to our website, ncwlife.com, and at the upper right-hand corner of your screen, you'll see the Contact Us icon. If you click on it, you can either submit a news tip or just drop us a line. This is as much your TV station as it is ours. 20 minutes after the hour. We're going to take a break. When we come back, all your scores from high school sports. The local basketball teams are still playing basketball through the holiday season. Sports is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 7 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
I'm Joel Frank, the managing principal of Equus Group and Equus Capital Partners. Equus is a vision, a team of innovative thinkers, builders, and executives. Equus, driven by a passion to protect and grow its investors' wealth through income-producing real estate. Discover wealth management and commercial real estate investment opportunities at equiliscapital.com or call and learn more today at 509-665-8349.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
And we're back at it just short of 22 minutes after the hour on this Friday. Let's talk sports, and we'll start out with prep basketball from last night. The Les Schwab scoreboard. We'll start out with the ladies. Wenatchee and Eastmont fell in the first round of the Avista Holiday Tournament. It's being held at Lewis and Clark State College. Last night, the Panthers fought hard, but they lost 67-65 to Lewiston. The Wildcats got handled pretty easily by Walla Walla, the final there, 47-28. The Waterville-Mansfield girls, by the way, fell on the road to Garfield-Palouse, the final there, 46-39. On the Les Schwab Prep boys basketball scoreboard, Walla Walla topping Eastmont 70-55 at the Avista Holiday Tournament. Wenatchee lost to Lewiston 51-42. Coming up on today's basketball schedule, and there is a lot of it. It's a smorgasbord. Eastmont takes on Moscow at the Avista Holiday Tournament. They get going at 9 this morning. That's awfully early to play basketball. That'll be followed at noon by Wenatchee and Lapwai. Cascade will entertain Manson today at 3 o'clock. In the Cascade Holiday Tournament, the Waterville-Mansfield girls continue on the Palouse against Colton today at 3:30. Cashmere begins play at the Holiday Classic down in Oregon against Liberty High School at 5 o'clock. Moses Lake will host Issaquah at 5:45, and the Chelan Holiday Hoops Tournament. Chelan takes on Eastside Prep at 8 o'clock. That's the ladies. Let's talk about the boys. On the boys' schedule for Friday, Eastmont faces Moscow at 10:30 again at Lewis and Clark State. Wenatchee plays against University at the Avista Holiday Tournament at 1:30. The Cashmere boys are in Yakima, the gateway to Wapato. It's the Sundome Shootout. They'll take on Cascade Christian today at 1:30. Cascade faces Manson in their holiday tournament at 4:30 in Leavenworth. Chelan will host Welpanit at the Chelan Holiday Tournament at 6 o'clock, and Moses Lake entertains Issaquah tonight at 7:30. Let's talk about basketball tomorrow. Eastmont and Wenatchee continue play at the Avista Holiday Tournament in Lewiston. Cashmere will play at the Holiday Classic in Oregon both tomorrow and Sunday. The Chelan girls face either Life Christian or Noosack Valley tomorrow at 10 a.m. or 2 o'clock, pending today's outcome, and Moses Lake will face Central Valley tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Boys basketball on Saturday. Eastmont and Wenatchee, again, staying down in Lewiston for the Avista Tournament tomorrow. Cashmere has a 9 a.m. game against Port Angeles tomorrow at the Sundome Shootout. Cascade continues their holiday tournament, and Chelan will host Eastside Prep at noon. Can't forget about wrestling. Area wrestling teams have various tournaments and matches today. Wenatchee will host Eisenhower today at noon. This is a makeup from a snowed out match that was supposed to be held last week. The Eastmont, Ephrata, Moses Lake Quincy, and Wenatchee girls will wrestle at the Hanford Winter Cup beginning this morning at 9 o'clock. Coming up tomorrow, 8 teams, including Quincy and Wenatchee, wrestle at Eastmont's Cat Classic starting at 10 a.m. The Moses Lake boys are at the Hanford Winter Cup at 10, and Cashmere, Chelan, and 12 other teams are at the Freeman Invitational beginning at 10 a.m. Everybody into the pool tomorrow. Wenatchee has a swim and dive meet. Pullman will be in town at the Wenatchee High School pool. This is tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Well, the Cougars, of course, they got the Cheez-It Bowl tonight. They got Air Force. It's being held in Phoenix, Chase Field in Phoenix, which is normally a baseball diamond. It's the home of the Arizona Diamondbacks, converted for football tonight. Coach Mike Leach faces all kinds of questions, in particular a non-football related question. A reporter asked Coach Leach if he would like to visit with Air Force coach Troy Calhoun about his interest in the Nez Perce Indian tribe.
I'd like to know more about the Nez Perce, and I know a little about them, and I'm picking up things, being up there in Pullman all the time. And of course, I wrote a book on Geronimo, which Geronimo was down this direction, and I've been interested in Native American culture since I was a child, and so the fact that Coach Calhoun is, which I didn't realize, would definitely be interesting, and I'd love to talk to him about it. Of course, he's from Oregon, so Chief Joseph and his father were born there, and I've been to their birthplace, and of course we got the Snake River and the Sweetwater and the Salmon River all right there, and so no, it's a great setting. There'd be a lot to learn and pick up there if if all of a sudden you pull away from football long enough.
Cougars and Falcons. It's the fifth and final of all the bowl games being played today. They kick it off at 7:15, and you can watch it on ESPN. And finally, the Seahawks wrap up the regular season Sunday night. The Niners are in town. On the line, of course, is the NFC West Championship and a possible bye in the first round of the playoffs, maybe even home field advantage. Coach Pete Caryl says, this is what you play it for.
It's a very special week for us. That last week of the season, playing for everything, for a division and all that. Very fortunate to be in that situation. It is what we aim for. This is what we always look towards, and we always wonder if the chance to do something like this is going to happen on the road or happen at home. We're thrilled we'll be here. This is a really good football team we're playing, obviously. They've done so many good things this year. A fantastic turnaround by their program and by their coaches and their players and all that. They've been flying all season long. So they've had a lot of really extraordinary games since we saw them in the last month and a half or whatever it is. So they're ready for everything right now. So it's a great challenge.
Hawks and Niners, last game of the regular season, and they'll get going. Kick off at 5:20. It's NBC's Sunday Night Football. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Friday. It's the 27th day of December, and fruitcake lovers, young and old, today is your day. It is National Fruitcake Day, celebrated every December 27th. You chop candy, chop fruit, you dry the fruit, the nuts, the spices, you soak it in spirits, and boom, you got fruitcake. Fruitcake dates all the way back to ancient Rome. It's not the fruitcake we know of today, but that's the base of it. Fruitcakes didn't really get going until the 16th century when two significant things happened. Number one, sugar became wildly acceptable. You could find sugar almost everywhere. And second, it was discovered that if you have a really high concentration of sugar, it can preserve fruits. You take those two things together, and the fruitcake as we know it was born. In 1935, the expression nutty as a fruitcake became that was one of my mom's favorite expressions. She loved that. It became a result because fruitcakes made in the South, because nuts were readily available and cheap, they started adding a lot of nuts into the fruitcakes of the 1930s. But my favorite fun fact about fruitcakes is this. 39% of all people surveyed said they give fruitcakes away when they get them. Here's a fruitcake, happy holidays. Thanks, Stan, thanks, Janet. And then Stan and Janet leave, and they give it to Bobby and Carl. 39% of people re-gift fruitcakes. Some of them over the course of years and years. I don't like fruitcake. I don't know anybody who does, come to think of it. It's 29 minutes after the hour. Let's do today in history. Happy 87th birthday to Radio City Music Hall. There it is. It opened its doors, the showplace of the nation. Opened its doors in Midtown Manhattan in New York City on this date, December 27th, 1932. It was, at the time, the largest auditorium in the world. The grand opening party on this date 87 years ago was a complete and utter disaster, however. That's from the New York Times. They say it was great. The show started at 8 o'clock in the evening. It ended at 2 a.m. There was no intermission. They had just tons of acts who came up on the stage at various times. They got lost on this huge stage in this huge auditorium as the premiere went on and 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 on. The audience members started to get bored. They started to wander away. Some people just got up and left. It got better, but the opening night extravaganza did not go particularly well. Thank goodness Radio City Music Hall is still around. It's 87 years old today. This is the 40th anniversary of what's known in Russia anyway as their Vietnam War. The Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan on December 27th, 1979. It began the Soviet-Afghan War. It lasted for over 9 years. We have our Vietnam, a long, drawn-out war that didn't make a lot of sense to a lot of people. And eventually, of course, a war that we lost, and the Soviet Union did not win their war against Afghanistan. And they eventually, of course, folded all together. The Soviet-Afghan War began on this date 40 years ago today. And boy, you talk about forgiveness. Would you forgive somebody who shot you and tried to kill you and came pretty darn close? The Pope did. December 27th, 1983, 36 years ago today, Pope John Paul II visited the man who shot him 2 years prior, Mehet Ali Akka. He was in prison, and the Pope personally forgave him for the 1981 assassination attempt on him in St. Peter's Square. Class act indeed. Bottom of the hour, birthdays. Scotty Moore, the guitarist with Elvis's original band, was born in the state of 1931. We lost Scotty Moore 3 years ago. He's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, class of 2000, a terribly underrated guitarist. As Keith Richards once said, "When I heard Heartbreak Hotel the very first time, I knew what I wanted to do with my life. It was as plain as day. All I wanted to do from that point forward was play electric guitar like Scotty Moore." Everybody wanted to be Elvis Presley. Keith Richards said, "I wanted to be Scotty Moore," the great Scotty Moore, born in the state of 1931. Mick Jones, speaking of rockers and rollers, and I like my rock and roll, he's 75 years old today. Gained fame as the lead vocalist with Spooky Tooth, and of course eventually with Foreigner, where he wrote most of the lyrics to all of the big hits of Foreigner. Mick Jones is 75 years old today. And happy birthday to Mark Few. Boy, are we glad he hasn't left Spokane and Gonzaga. He's been offered time and time and time again all the big college basketball coaching jobs. Every one of them, they have pursued Mark Few. Mark Few says, "Nope, I'm a happy family guy. I got my kids, I got my life. We love living in Spokane. I'm not going to leave Gonzaga." He's been the head basketball coach at Gonzaga for the last 19 years. He has led Gonzaga to the NCAA tournament for 19 years. And of course, they made it all the way to the championship game a couple of years ago. His .825 winning percentage for Mark Few as a head coach is the second highest winning percentage of all time, behind a gentleman by the name of Sam Burton, who coached West Texas A&M from 1921 to 1933. Mark Few. Happy birthday, Mark. Go Zags. He's 57 years old today. I wonder if Mark Few and his family, when they go out to dinner at a nice restaurant in Spokane, I wonder if they ever have to pay for it. That's Mark Few. Let's buy him dinner. Let's take a break. We'll come back with an opinion from Mike McNaughty, but before we do that, a little reminder about Campbell's. Now, I don't know if they're going to continue this into the next year. I don't know. I'll find out soon enough. So, hey, this is it. This is the last weekend of the year, the last weekend of the decade, and if you are a local, you can stay at Campbell's Resort starting at just $95 a night. It's the NCAA Life Destination Deal, only available at Campbell's. Again, all you have to do is give Campbell's a call, say, "I live here in North Central Washington. I'd like to come up and stay at your nice resort when it's nice and quiet and peaceful and have nice food and nice wine and just chillax, if you will." And if you want to, and you can stay at Campbell's and you're local, you can get a room starting at $95 a night. Take advantage of this before Campbell's figures out what the heck they're doing. Ours is not to question why. We're going to take a break. Mike McNaughty's got an opinion coming your way. My conversation with Leslie Freytag and Caryl Andre. We met at the Pybus Public Market earlier in the week. You don't want to miss that. We had a lot of fun, and you'll see that when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live from Studio 8 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
My name is Anaisa Lemus, and I teach at John Newberry Elementary. I had a tooth in the front that was just always causing me problems. It was just happening so regularly. I went to go get a root canal done, and the root canal didn't help a whole lot because then it came back. Both of my parents went to Dr. Divis's office. They really recommended him because he had done such a great job on their teeth. I went and really have had a really pleasant experience with him. He just made me feel really at ease with everything. He was really confident with what he was doing. He said, this is one of his favorite parts of his job, which really made it easier for me because, when you're really passionate about something, they're going to do a good job. As a teacher, my students, I'll tell them randomly sometimes, "Oh yeah, with my fake tooth." They're always so shocked. Like, "What? It looks like your real tooth." And I'm really happy with the results now.
This is Dr. John Divis. Please call us today.
It's going on 4 decades of doing business in the Wenatchee Valley. And I want people to know that it matters. It matters to me that people choose to do business with us. It matters that people trust us, trust us. That matters more than anything.
Travel enhances your life in every way. Let the travel professionals at Journey Travel and Tours help you plan that dream vacation. Don't leave the important details to those nameless, faceless online agencies. At Journey Travel and Tours, our goal is to build relationships that last a lifetime. And when you do need help, we have a 24-hour helpline that is routed to one of the agents in our office. When you think travel, think Journey Travel and Tours. It's where your journey begins. Like us on Facebook, and you could be one of our monthly winners.
Badger Mountain Brewing is proud to announce the grand opening of our new kitchen. Come try out our new menu featuring fabulous steaks, prime rib, gourmet burgers, and seafood grilled up by experienced meat master, Chef Galen Goodman. To complement your mouth-watering meal, Badger Mountain Brewing features 14 in-house crafted beers, an alcohol-free root beer infused with 11 different herbs and spices, 3 different ciders, and a great wine selection. Don't miss out on the best meats and the best brews down at Badger Mountain Brewing, located at 1 Orondo Avenue across the tracks from the Pybus Market.
Highlander Golf Course is proud to announce their 2 new state-of-the-art full-swing golf simulators with over 80 courses of virtual golf to choose from year-round. Or try their Laser Shot simulated firearm program, or gaming with football, basketball, and much more. Enjoy Highlander food and drink service from their full-service bar and grill in the comfort of their simulator room. Call the Highlander Pro Shop to book your time at 884-4653. That's 884-4653.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. So, when I go into a retail store, I choose my items that I want to purchase. I bring them to the checkout stand, prepared to pay. And lo and behold, there at the cash register is a tip jar. A tip jar? What am I tipping this employee for? For taking my money and accurately reading what the cash register says my change is? Now, tipping is getting way out of hands, folks. I can and do understand tipping food service folks, and I regularly tip 20% or more. I really do. And I tip cab and Uber drivers and folks who deliver food to my house. I also tip baristas because, honestly, my daughter used to be one. But a tip jar at a retail establishment? I can just imagine the next time I go into my local hardware store, pick up my light bulbs and a screwdriver that I need, and when I go to pay, there's gonna be a tip jar on the counter. Sorry, ain't gonna have none of my money in it. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and that's my opinion.
The Cottage Inn has been a Wenatchee Valley landmark since 1940, making it one of the longest-running locally owned restaurants around. And it's better than ever. Steak, seafood, and their famous homemade desserts for dinner, wonderful lunch items, and breakfast on Sundays, all made from scratch and at an affordable price. It's no wonder the Cottage Inn has been so popular for over 75 years. Enjoy a fabulous meal today at the Cottage Inn on Easy Street in Old Station.
We financed our home with the help of Tracy Dry through Guild Mortgage, and we were quite satisfied with everything she did.
Tracy takes the time to get to know you. She finds what your wants are, your needs, and what works for you and your family and your financial situation.
Everything was on time, and she took the responsibility off of our shoulders. So we would recommend her anytime to anybody.
She takes care of us.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today. 509-663-1710.
For plumbing, heating, or cooling repair, Patriot will be right there.
We know they exist, those who love cold water.
Yeah, no thanks.
Fortunately, there is plenty of hot water for the rest of us from Rheem, the new degree of comfort.
Ask the pros at Patriot which Rheem water heater is right for your home.
Patriot Plumbing, heating and cooling, we'll give your home a hug.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Once again, once a month, we drop by to see our friends at South here at Pybus Puppet Market. We're in the upper floor. And, of course, we visit with Leslie Freytag from the Pybus Puppet Market and a very special guest again this month. No stranger to our television family. Caryl, introduce yourself, please.
I'm Caryl Andre from Wenatchee Parks and Recreation.
And you're here for a very specific reason, and we're going to talk about that as we get into our conversation. First of all, Leslie, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to you and your family.
Merry Christmas to you and all the Kuntz family.
Yeah, thanks for putting up with us over the next
we love
next few days. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
New Year's Eve here at the Pybus, and I've done this. I can say this for specifically because I did it. Is a blast. It's a really good time here.
It is, and this year we're upping our game just a bit. We have a live band, Water Dog, is coming to play. They haven't been here in a few years. We will still do 2 apple drops, so for from 7 to 9, we'll have family-friendly activities and games and some surprises for the kiddos.
Okay.
And the apple drop at 9 o'clock to coincide with New York and those of us who don't want to stay up quite so late.
That's me.
And then from 10 to midnight, we'll be back at it again for the late nighters with an apple drop at 12. From 7 to midnight, we will have a non-hosted bar, cash bar, at the south end of the concourse and dancing. And so we hope you make Pybus the place to hang out all evening long.
Now, the dancing's been around because we boogied till the cows came home a few years ago, but I don't remember the bar part.
We haven't had the bar, and that was really an opportunity because so many people come, they're waiting for their table at the restaurant, so you can come hang with us, or after your dinner, come down and dance and have another cocktail with us. So it'll be really a fun night.
And go ahead.
And we have great restaurants that'll be open that night. Here, South will be open, Fire and Ice will be open, as well as Pybus Bistro.
Oh, good.
And the Brew Pub.
And the Brew Pub.
And the Brew Pub, yes.
So I know what my plans are going to be for New Year's Eve.
Come hang with us. My team will all be here
Oh,
celebrating
good.
and ringing the New Year in.
Of course, I've never made it to midnight, I don't know, in about 25 years. It's past my bedtime, you know.
Well, some of us on the team got the short straw.
Caryl, how you doing, sweetie?
Good,
I haven't seen you for a
really
long
good.
time.
Oh, I know. It's been ages.
What's happening in Parks and Rec?
Oh, my gosh, so much. But what's happening at Pybus with Parks and Recs, in addition to our indoor playground, which is Monday through Thursdays, 9 to noon, for preschoolers to come play inside in the warmth. But we have our Bundle Up Festival happening on January 11th. So after the holidays, when families need something to do on a Saturday, they can come down here. We have a fun run in the park. We have hay wagon rides, s'mores, a petting zoo. And then we have 40 booths set up throughout the whole concourse and in the event center of youth activities. So from football to dance to drama, it's a one-stop shop for families to come get information, anything related to kids. So it's a win-win for mom, dad, and kids.
Yeah, and everybody gets cabin fever by the middle of January.
Exactly,
It
and
gets
so they
them out,
can play outside, come in, do some things inside. It's going to be great.
And that's all Parks and Rec. Who, by the way, your day thing here is is unbelievably popular.
It's wonderful.
It's been fun for us to have them here, and every day is more and more people are
It's
finding
our
it.
third year that we are been at Pybus. We were at the community center, and our numbers just weren't rocking it up there, and we decided for a venue change. And since we moved down here, oh my goodness, it's crazy. It's awesome. Little kids everywhere.
Everywhere.
And it's super cheap. It's super cheap.
It's $1 to come and have your kid play. We have all kinds of toys and activities for them, so moms can just get their coffee and watch their kids run around like maniacs, inside in the warmth. And
My
4
guess
days a
is
week.
your staff probably loves to do that.
They do.
They probably really get a kick out of getting out of the office and getting down
We all
here.
kind of like kids.
Yeah. Well, I'm a former child myself, so I know.
Former.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
The Merida Caravan's coming back, is that right?
Yes, they are.
Good.
On January 7th, they'll be here, and they'll be spending from 4 to 5:15 in the concourse. Have a chance to visit with some of your favorite Mariners. We're not sure yet which players will be here, but as soon as we know their names, we'll certainly be announcing that. We're looking forward to
And we had last year, we had Marco Gonzalez, the former Apple Sock, was a part of the Mariner Caravan. That was fantastic.
Yes, so we're excited to have them back.
Yeah. And I've told this story before, and I think Leslie's heard this story. One of the wow factors about Pybus, this is where community meets, The Apple Sox had a home series last summer, and the team was staying at the Hilton Garden Inn, and they came down here just to say, what's this building? And they were all just like wide-eyed,
Yes.
saucer-eyed at this. They,
Yes.
This is cool.
That is the most fun part about being here, seeing people that from out of town that don't have any idea. They say, people tell them to come to Pybus Market, they don't know what to expect, and they do. They wander around. Just on Saturday, there was a group from Japan here, just
wow.
wide-eyed, looking around, lots of pictures, and then they post nice things about you on Google.
Which is even nicer.
Expect this in our little
Nobody
town.
expects this.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's great.
Let's see, where are we up to next? Oh,
Well,
bridal shows.
Yes, we're attending a couple of bridal shows. We're doing Bella Sera and the Premier Collection show the January 4th and January 11th, and we're out really talking about our wonderful, beautiful event center, which is a perfect location for weddings. And so we really are trying to get the word out that we have a beautiful place. We have glass walls or nano wall doors that open up, and you can have part of your reception or the ceremony right out on the deck when the weather is good, 3 seasons out of the year. So we are really hoping that people learn more about what we have to offer at the event center.
And that's one of the best things that they did was when they took that gray concrete slab of an extra room that was almost an afterthought
Yes.
when they redid the Pybus, and they realized we got to do better than this, and they did.
Yes, we did, and it's hard to imagine that we did have events in it when it was a cold, dark,
Yeah.
dreary place, and we did the best we could. But now we have it's warm. We have HVAC in there,
Yep.
and a fabulous sound system. So,
Yeah, it's
great.
well, if it can handle the Kuntz family, it can handle anybody.
Anybody, yes.
We already talked about the Bundle Up Fest and Sports Fair, right?
Yes, yes.
So what else we have coming
I
up?
want to highlight the Wenatchee World has started something new, and we've held 2 of these here. It's called Wenatchee World Live, and they're forums, and they're usually on the 3rd Wednesday of the month from 7 to 8 a.m. Mayor Frank was our first guest, and this month we're going to have them on January 15th, and they'll be talking about wolves and repatriating them back into Washington State and all of that. So that should be really an interesting discussion. So the Wenatchee World is doing this in partnership with Pybus, and we invite anybody to come down. We have a large crowd in the morning, and Cafe Columbia provides coffee and a few treats.
Yeah, my brother, he really enjoyed the first one. He and Russ Hemphill got up there on stage, and he had no idea what Russ was going to ask him.
And it was just very informal, but great informative discussion. People are able to ask questions, and it just makes everybody approachable, I think, in our small community.
Caryl, while I have you here, what else is going on in Parks and Rec as we transition into a new decade? And
we are busily planning for the State Winter Games for Special Olympics that's coming in March. So we'll have another 2,500 people or so in the Valley for the Special Olympics State Games. We've got all of our Winter Special Olympics sports going on. We're planning for our spring and summer already. So the pool and all of our summer day camps and sport camps.
I drove by the new park. Well, not the new park, the new old park.
Met Howe.
Park. What a crown jewel for the South End.
Transformation.
Yeah.
It's going to be gorgeous. The restroom is arriving today.
Oh.
That park's first restroom ever. This is so exciting.
That is exciting.
It's so exciting. We run a wading pool program there every summer, and our poor little rec leaders have had porta potties for the last 30 years, and they're just thrilled. But there's a lot going on development-wise, the Saddle Rock projects and the Hale Park projects, and
it
so
says
much.
to me, it says a lot about the health of a city that you can take large sections, large swaths of land within the city of Wenatchee and say this is going to be a park. We're not going to build anything. We're not going to develop anything. This is a park because parks knit communities together. We're talking about Pybus is where communities meet.
Yes.
Every neighborhood has a park.
Yes, and that's so important, and it's so well attended. And those parks are needed for folks that don't have the resources to go sign up for expensive camps and programs. They can go to their local park and have a wonderful time in a beautiful area, whenever they want. Open to the public, free, fun.
Yeah, it's hard to go play in your backyard when you live in an apartment.
Yes,
yes, it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And our dog park, Hale Park Dog Park it's awesome. I love taking my dog down there. It's crazy busy, and they're happy dogs running everywhere. Who knew that we'd have a dog park down on the river, and it's
So
awesome.
are you going to have a quiet time at all, Caryl, coming up, or is it just go?
No.
It just doesn't happen.
It's the life of Parks and Recreation and Cultural Services. We do have the arts program too. So
why do we get the Special Olympics Winter Games every year? Is it just because we're awesome, or because there's got to be other communities who want it, but they don't get it? We get it.
Exactly. We are the permanent host site, basically because of the proximity for cross-country skiing in Leavenworth, alpine skiing at Mission Ridge. We've got the Town Toyota Center for the speed skating and figure skating. And then we have 12 gyms in our valley that all are open to us, that we run all these sports simultaneously within a 30-mile radius. And there is no place else in the state that has that.
Yeah.
And they love our community. The athletes love coming here. The coaches and chaperones and volunteers love coming here. It's welcoming. It's consistent. The athletes know where it is every year. It's the same. They come here. They come and get things at ice. They just, it's really a happy place for them to be.
And no volunteers, it doesn't really happen. And I know there's a ton of volunteers that make it happen. I know a lot of service clubs are involved heavily in this.
We had close to 700 volunteers last year. If you think about it, we have 14 venue sites running simultaneously, plus we're feeding all these people, all the peripheral activities, the dances, the opening ceremonies. It's huge. And then we make lunches every day that go out to all the venue sites for all the athletes and chaperones and coaches. So we have 14 Kiwanis clubs, and it's not just local. They draw from the whole valley that make about 2,000 lunches every morning, and then they are shipped out to the sites, you know, just like clockwork. It's absolutely amazing.
That's a lot of lunch.
Oh, it's crazy. It is such, it's like a machine, a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
They have little kids in wagons pulling this box to this truck, and it's going over here. It's crazy.
Always the first weekend in March, if I remember correctly?
Always the first weekend. So it's February 28th this year.
Okay.
So we'll have a big opening ceremony down at Town Toyota Center again. The Seagulls and a few other surprises for the athletes. So it's going to be pretty good.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Leslie, while I have you here, what else is on your mind for January events here at the Pybus?
Just come and be with us.
Yeah.
It's a great place to gather, have coffee, hang out, because it's so cold outside. Or after you come down from Mission Ridge, come and stop by, have some dinner, get a beer at the brew pub.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, lots
Absolutely.
of exciting things going
It's
on.
always good to see you. And Caryl, this was a nice surprise. I didn't know it was going to be you.
Can I do one more plug?
Yeah, please, Caryl.
Since we're talking about Special Olympics, we always do the Polar Plunge as a fundraiser, and it's February 8th down at Walla Walla Point Park. So we will be jumping in the river yet again.
That's a Saturday, right?
It's a Saturday. Last year we had to pound out the ice with sledgehammers. We have a really funny video on our Parks and Rec Facebook page. But we raised close to $20,000 for our local Special Olympics. So if you're interested in participating, you know, just get a hold of me at Parks and Rec and I will hook you up.
We're all for it. We're all for it. Pybus is a great website, by the way. It has the calendar list of all the events that's going on. The city's website is that I forgot who my brother hired, but she does a great job to maintain the city website. She's phenomenal. It's a lot more user friendly than it ever was before.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, I can actually find what I'm looking for.
And the Facebook page is really great,
Yeah.
and there's lots of ways to access us.
Yeah.
And don't forget, we also have our very own app.
That's right, you do, and I haven't downloaded it yet.
That's
I got to do
exciting.
that.
You have to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got to do that. Caryl, it's always good to see you.
You too.
Leslie, as usual.
Thank you, Dan.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
happy
Christmas.
holidays to everybody. Let's have a great 2020.
Yes.
Yeah.
On to 2020.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Leslie Freytag, Caryl Andre, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
You've seen their rigs all over town. It's Young Bucks Landscaping. Licensed, bonded, and insured, Young Bucks Landscaping is providing the Wenatchee Valley with quality landscape installation and maintenance. You may be thinking of tree pruning, stump grinding, fall yard maintenance, or any host of home care projects. Let the hardest working, dependable staff of Young Bucks Landscaping handle the task. For more information, call 509-470-5684. Young Bucks Landscaping.
It's time to renew your body and mind. It's time for Stressless. Now at Boswell's, save $200 on Stressless seating with a minimum $50 donation to charity, or $400 on Stressless Mayfair, featuring innovative ergonomic comfort systems and multiple sizes for a personalized fit. Don't wait. It's time for Stressless. Proud to be endorsed by the American Chiropractic Association. Shop Boswell's, 2915 Easy Street in Wenatchee.
Come see how very different you will feel in your Bullfrog Spa.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you get 35 years of experience and customer service in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's friendly staff strongly believe in repairing before replacing and service all major brands of HVAC units. Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning is your local, independent, trained comfort specialists, proudly serving all of North Central Washington. Call 884-6444 today.
And we're back on this Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm Dan Kuntz, your host. Hey, the sun's up. It's been up for about 7 or 8 minutes now, so we have enough light to take another tour around North Central Washington with our Valley View cameras, because when we did this an hour ago, couldn't really see a lot. That's the same shot that we had 1 hour ago from the cross cam, and it lets you know how those clouds and the fog have rolled in. But it's a pretty sunrise. See how it's just kind of bathing the very top of Badger and Birch Mountain. However, it'll burn off. We'll have some sun breaks this afternoon. Forecast details are coming up, but somewhere down there is the Wenatchee Valley. We're looking good. We're just kind of waiting for the sun to get the job done, burn off the clouds and the fog. Camera number 2, where are we off to, Megan? I think it's the same ones. Yep, that's Rood Canyon. Looks like they got a little bit more snow than we get here in the Wenatchee Valley. We had just a little bit of light snow. Wasn't really even enough to cover anything, and it's going to be long gone here in the not-too-distant future. It was expected. Nothing else is really expected this weekend. Again, forecast details are coming up. Good morning to our friends at Rood Canyon. Camera number 3. It's back up to the top of Blag Mountain, where it has stopped snowing. We had a really cool view of this about an hour ago, of the snow coming down on top of Blag Mountain, which is high above Peshastin. So we're looking down towards Leavenworth, which is down there. And even there, it doesn't look like they got a great deal of snow. You can still see a couple of flakes floating around Blag Mountain, a camera that's very high up in elevation. And camera 4. It's back to Valley High, where, as you can see, they got a little bit of snow up there on your way up to Blewett Pass. By the way, traction tires are advised across the board on the passes. I'll also give you an update on that, too. A lot of people hitting the road as the Christmas holiday begins to wrap up over the weekend. All right, let's take a look at that forecast from the National Weather Service. Just really quiet. It's just really not a lot happening. Right now, of course, we are dealing with overcast skies and some fog, low-lying clouds and fog. It will burn off as the day progresses. We'll call it partly cloudy skies. We'll get up to around 34 degrees, which is a couple of degrees warmer than what we had yesterday. Clouds and fog reform tonight, 24 for the overnight low. Saturday, lots of clouds. Not expecting any sunshine, no precipitation, just kind of, there's your word for Saturday's weather. High of about 32 degrees. There's about a 20% chance of light precipitation Saturday night into early Sunday morning. Don't think it's going to happen, even though the snow level is going to be at 900 feet. There's just nothing really out there to come out of the sky on Saturday night. We'll dip down to about 27. Sunday, we wrap up the weekend with a slight chance of some rain and snow in the morning. Could switch over to all rain. There's a 30% chance of precipitation of one kind or another on Sunday afternoon. We'll top off at about 33 degrees. Little or no snow accumulation is expected on Sunday or Sunday night, for that matter, with lots of clouds and a low of about 25 degrees. And it's back to work on Monday for the last couple of days of the decade. Lots of sunshine Monday and a high near 37 degrees. Monday night, 30 for the overnight low. Tuesday, snow level goes way up. It's going to be above pass level. It's going to be around 4,300 feet by Tuesday afternoon. So we are expecting some precipitation on Tuesday, but if it comes at all, it'll be probably in the form of rain, because you can see we're going to be up near 40 for the high on Tuesday. Tuesday night is New Year's Eve, 32 degrees for the overnight low. That's pretty mild for the overnight low. Slight chance of some light rain, maybe some mix of freezing rain. It is, I don't know. We'll know more by this time on Monday for New Year's Eve proper. The New Year's Day, we ring in the new year and the new decade with a high of 41 degrees under partly cloudy skies. So there you go. To the major mountain passes we go. There are traction tire advisories across the board. That's a live shot of I-90 right now. It is snowing, but it's starting to taper off quite a bit. You'll find some snow and slush on the roadway, and again on I-90, traction tires are advised. Stevens looks pretty snow covered, but it's really not as bad as it looks on camera. Traction tires are advised on Stevens. Compact snow and ice on the roadway. It is snowing lightly on Stevens Pass, and it looks like the plows have been made a couple of passes on Blewett. There's a traction tire advisory on Blewett Pass. With snow and ice on the roadway, it is snowing on Blewett. Now, the snow is supposed to taper off. They tell us mid-morning this morning, right around 10 or 11, that'll be it with the snow, and there's no real significant snow event at all in the major mountain passes until we get to the early part of next week. If you're traveling Monday or Tuesday, things could get dicey, but once we get through the little bit of light snow this morning, you'll be just good to go. Everybody have a schmantabulous weekend. Well, see you Monday. Bye-bye.